Before all this Charlie Kirk stuff, Zoran Mamdani was getting a lot of flack from leftists for going on MSNBC and backtracking on his use of the phrase globalize the intifada, saying that he was capitulating to Zionism, to Zionist propaganda, to Zionist talking points. I want to respond to that. I see this as nothing more than a New York City mayoral candidate listening to the concerns of his potential constituents.
Has your personal views on the phrase of global intifada changed since you've been running for mayor? Do you understand those that see it in a more threatening way than saying, I'm just not going to police other people's language?
Yes, they have. And you know, when we won the primary election, I said on that stage that I know that millions of New Yorkers care deeply about what happens in Israel and Palestine, and I'm one of those New Yorkers. And I commit to reaching even further to understand disagreement, to wrestle with the complexities of those differing viewpoints, because what this city deserves is a mayor that looks not only to represent the close to 600,000 New Yorkers that voted for me, but rather the 8.5 million people that call this city home. And in the meetings that I have had since that moment, I've met with Jewish elected officials, with rabbis, with community leaders, and there was one rabbi that spoke to me about how that phrase, for her, brought back memories of bus bombings in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I knew that from what she was sharing with me that she had a fear, as she said, that that could come home to New York City. And so in having that conversation with her, I knew that the gap between the intent that I have heard some New Yorkers share with the use of that language of calling for the end of the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land was disconnected from the impact it was having in that same conversation I was having with that rabbi. And so I have said, after having that conversation, that this is language I would discourage.
This is what progressives do. When we get new information, when we get new perspectives, we update our understanding. This is what he did. He listened to concerns of his potential constituents and he adjusted. That's progress. That's how we make progress. A lot of people keep using this phrase because it directly translates to shake off or brush off a larger power. It represents the rebellion, the revolution of Palestinian people against their oppressors, against Israel. And it even was originally chosen to mean aggressive, nonviolent resistance. That is what largely characterized the first Intifada. It was largely a nonviolent resistance